Madume Motswana wetso gae. Welcome to Business Digest, your weekly show that covers a wide range of business-related stories, which include market trends, economic developments, as well as analysis from different experts. In today's episode, we'll be talking about cybersecurity. Over the years, Botswana have been falling victim to online scams. To unpack this issue, I have the cybersecurity awareness specialist, Mr. David Moeping. Mr. Moeping, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Pauline.
You're welcome, Mr. Moeping. Kindly introduce yourself and your background.
Yes, my name is David Moeping. As you have already indicated, I'm a cybersecurity awareness specialist. I'm a cyber psychologist by training. I specialize in user behavior in the digital space, understanding why people behave the way they behave, and also understanding how technology affects people's behaviors, and also looking into developing interventions, targeted interventions, so we can help people with knowledge, with skills, with ways through which they can stay safe in the digital space, protect themselves against cyber threats and risks of various kinds in the digital space.
Well, interesting. So, Mr. Moepe, what is cybersecurity and how does it affect an ordinary citizen?
Cybersecurity basically is the practice of securing digital assets. Digital assets covers devices, a phone, a laptop, a computer, whatever device really that is used to log into the internet. Data as well as programs and systems that are used as part of digital technology.
Okay, so what sparked your interest in cybersecurity?
I was a journalist, worked for many years in the newsroom, and one of my interests from my years as a journalist was public education. Advancing societal change through awareness, education, and things like that. So I think back in 2016, 2015, as society was increasingly becoming digitalized with the advent of social media, I noticed just how vulnerable people were in the digital space. People falling victim to scams, falling victims to various kinds of threats in the digital space, and just the low levels of awareness and security and safety measures that people were adopting. And I became interested in ways through which I could help people through public education programs. I was still working on radio at the time, but it's a concept that I parked. And once I got an opportunity, I started researching to understand really how vulnerable people were, the threats that they were facing in the digital space, and how best to really help people protect themselves, defend themselves against these threats and risks. And I became interested in cybersecurity. I started researching. I became interested in cybersecurity awareness. I then went to university to pursue master's studies on cyber psychology to understand the user, because I realized that in cybersecurity there's a common saying that the weakest link is the human factor, meaning the user. Because with cybersecurity, you'd find that this technology comes with security measures already embedded in them. There's passwords, there's all sorts of security measures that come, whether it's your phone, whether it's your online account, whether it's your email account, whether it's your social media account, whatever it is really that is available in the digital space. There are measures in place to try and keep those programs secure. Often you would find that it is our habits, our behaviors, our practices that expose us to various kinds of attacks. So I became interested in the user, and I pursued master studies on cyber psychology to understand why the user behaves the way they behave and ways through which we can help the user defend themselves. That's how I became interested in cyber security. But I work as a cyber security awareness specialist, focusing mainly on user behaviors and attitudes and practices.
What a smart move. Yeah. Okay, what is your general observation about cybersecurity awareness locally?
Well, in Botswana we have extreme low levels of cybersecurity awareness. We are making efforts as Cyber Smart Botswana to really advance public education in this area. But what we have observed is that cybersecurity awareness is still very low. and there's need to really roll out robust, comprehensive educational programs. Even in organizations, we offer training programs to help organizations increase cybersecurity awareness, because we have realized that often in most organizations and enterprises, when we think cybersecurity, we think kids are IT, but everybody, from the security guy at the gate, whether it's the cleaner, everybody uses some type of digital device to even access the company network, and they even communications to access emails from their bosses or from colleagues and things like that. So communication is digitalized. So everybody's affected, and we notice that there is a gap there where there is a need to ensure that people are trained, at least empowered with the basic knowledge and understanding of the risks that we face in the digital space, as well as ways through which they can protect themselves. So in the public as well, there's so many programs that are being rolled out. The government through the Smart Boss program, in schools through the schools digitalization program, there is robust, comprehensive rolling out of connectivity to even rural areas. I always brag about how in Botswana, when I travel around the world, about how in Botswana you can literally lean by a fence, ya school or ya clinic, and access the internet, or just stand under a tree, go and access the internet. You don't get this in most countries in Africa. But as much as that is great, it shows advancement that as a country we are moving forward with the times, but it also means increased vulnerability, because with these tools comes vulnerabilities, comes risks. So if I give you a phone, basically I'm exposing you, or I connect you to internet, I'm exposing you to cybersecurity threats. So that's where we see a greater need for robust public education. And as Cyber Smart Botswana, we have developed programs working with our partners from the Ministry of Communications, Knowledge and Technology, the European Union, Botswana Communications Regulatory Authority, BOCRA, to get the message out there to the public, and make sure that everybody has at least some level of understanding of the risks that are available, so that when they encounter these threats, they are able to defend themselves. So your question was, what is the level of cybersecurity awareness in Botswana? Very low. We need to increase education, even include it in our public education programs, in our curriculums, rather.
Okay, sir. So you've said quite a lot. We're going to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, Mr. Mwepe is going to unpack more about cybersecurity awareness locally.
Have you downloaded BW News app? Your one-stop shop for Botswana's leading newspapers. If not, what are you waiting for? Start reading the print editions of Botswana's leading newspapers as they appear in the newspapers on any device. The BW News app features the Midweek Sun, Botswana Guardian, Megi, and the Monitor, updated in an easy-to-flip-through format once the papers are printed. Our packages include current affairs, which creates seamless access for one organizational setup. You can add up to 100 users at affordable rates. After subscription, you will have access to our PDF archive from the past 1 year. You will also receive notifications on your phone as soon as the newspapers publish. You can open your favorite title and share it in text format, and also change the font size and screen light to your choosing. Too busy to flip through and read? The BW News app will read the article for you, and it can also translate from English to the language you're comfortable with. Get the BW News app from the Google Play Store and the App Store and enter a world of up-to-date news presented as it appears in the physical paper.
Welcome back from the break. Before we went for a commercial break, Mr. Mwepe, you were talking about the cybersecurity awareness locally. So how has the reception been in terms of cybersecurity awareness?
Yeah, we're seeing gradual, increase in cybersecurity awareness because of the efforts that we are making with our partners. But there's still a lot to be done, to be honest, because as you can imagine, the pace at which we are digitalizing is very fast. The pace at which there's new technology that is being rolled out is very fast and far outpaces the interventions and the measures that we are putting in place, and not just in Botswana, around the world really, the measures and the interventions that we are putting in place to promote awareness, to educate society, and even to defend users. But there's gradual improvement, but more needs to be done, to be honest.
Okay, what exactly do you think should be done? What are we not doing right, sir?
Here's the thing. We are becoming digitalized society. Digital technology is part and parcel of our daily lives. You wake up in the morning, you're interacting with technology, whether it's through your phone, you're socializing, networking, you're doing your studies, you're going shopping. Technology is at the center of our social lives. No longer is technology just a technical sphere. It's now part of who we are. It needs to be integrated into our social lives, starting right at the home. The way we engage with each other at a family level, it becomes part of our culture, the spirit of both. Sometimes we complain a lot about, hey, more social media, and things like that. So all those things are an indication that, digital technology is now intertwined with our social lives to a point where we need to start re-looking at our social fabric and determine ways through which we are going to exist in this digital space. We have a campaign called eBotu. eBotu basically is a reminder to Botswana to say that, as we transition into the digital space, let's not forget the values, the spirit of Botu that has sustained us over time. There's a concept of digital citizenship, which is basically an extension of you as a citizen, as an individual who coexists with others in society, should remember that even in the digital space there's need to maintain those values and those principles. So in terms of what needs to be done right at the education level as well, it needs to become part of our curriculum. We live in an era where technology is part and parcel of our lives, and therefore this is how we ought to conduct ourselves. In other countries, they've introduced what is called digital citizenship education. It covers life holistically in the digital space, but bringing in those values of coexistence and understanding that just because you're on social media, it doesn't mean and talk to whoever, however you want, and not respect other people, and even not observe what other people have rights that have to be respected.
Okay, we've seen some of the local companies fall into these online scams. So what are some of the gaps that you've identified in the cybersecurity, in the local company's cybersecurity strength?
Yeah. Now, earlier we spoke about cybersecurity awareness, but we're focusing more at an individual level. There's also an element of cybersecurity awareness even at leadership level. With cybersecurity, for us to be cyber resilient, to have effective policies, programs in place, whether at a society level, whether at a household level, or at an organizational level, there needs to be appropriate programs, policies in place, right? And that means the leadership, the management must have understanding of the policies that are needed and why those policies are needed, so that they can be able to provide strategic leadership. And to provide strategic leadership covers what? Ensuring that we have the requisite skills in place. They are equipped and they're empowered with the skills they need for them to be able to work effectively without facing any cyber threats. Cybersecurity awareness as a leader. Yes, there's cybersecurity awareness. As a user, this is what I need to do. But there's also cybersecurity awareness. As a leader, these are the tools that I need to provide in order to safeguard my organization. I need to make sure that I provide the tools. I need to make sure that I train my employees. I need to make sure that I've developed policies and strategies that are in place to guide us as an organization, to guide employees in how we are going to embark on ensuring that we are secure as an organization in the digital space.
In short, you are saying companies should invest in cybersecurity awareness.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So how do I spot a social media account as fake?
How do you spot that?
A social media account is fake.
Yeah, there's so many things that you can look at. Usually you would find that with fake social media accounts, there's not much content posted on it. Most of the time you'd find that the account was recently published, because what fake profiles carry usually is just a picture. Sometimes, one or few posts that are put up on the wall, but not much content, because the sole purpose of that account is to scam people, is to trick people into believing that it is a genuine account. So one of the first things that you must look for is, when was this account created, how much content is there, who else is connected to this network, mutual friends, for instance. But you should also have to be very careful, because I've seen some people actually accepting requests from fake profiles. So you have to be very careful, but often you will find that there are very few friends and then very few mutual friends as well. So there are so many things, but those are some of the key things that you must look at: the content, who else is connected, and how much, and how long that account has been in existence.
Okay, noted. How about the offers? How do I tell that this offer is not real, it's fake?
Oh yes, and also one of the things that you must look at is, what is this account being used for? So often with fake accounts, usually they're used to promote like your Bitcoin investments and what you call forex trading and things like that. Yes, there are those that are genuine, that are involved in that line of business, but a majority of people are creating fake Facebook profiles just to scam people, right? But in terms of what you're talking about, really, you would find that there's pressure. That person will send messages to people and try and sell some investment opportunities, and sell some money making opportunities. Sometimes even there's pressure: invest now, if you don't, this opportunity is going away. Sometimes you do get that, right?
Yes.
And sometimes yes, they're genuine. There are people who are genuinely maybe looking for love, but some are using those accounts just to advance romance scams. I'm sure you have heard of romance scams, so that they can, they would use profile pictures of good-looking men or good-looking women, to trick those that are looking for love online into falling into fake relationships. And then once they have trapped you, they will now trick you into some investment opportunities and things like that, and they'll start asking for money. So those are some of the things that users should look out for.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moepeng. One thing that I've learned from this conversation is that individuals as well as companies, they need to invest in cybersecurity awareness. We're going for a quick commercial break. We'll be back.
Do you want to stay in touch with the up-to-the-minute breaking news, countrywide, regional and international coverage, as well as in-depth analysis from Botswana's most trusted media house? Then head over to www.megi.bw, where you can also enjoy access to premium articles, long reads, features, and exclusive opinions. Whether you're looking for updates on politics, health, education, business and the economy, or sports, and many more, we have you covered. Sign up on the website and choose a package suitable for you. We also have packages for organizations at affordable rates. Visit www.megi.bw and enjoy the finest journalism and news you need to know.
Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Moepeng. He's going to unpack where are we getting it wrong as individuals in terms of cybersecurity. Moepeng, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. So what are some of the common mistakes that we make individually in terms of cybersecurity?
Yeah, some of the common mistakes that we see people making online. I think the first thing is, I don't know whether we are too trusting or we're just not cautious enough, or we are excited, about our engagement in the digital space. I think particularly with social media, there's a lot of excitement, and people let their guard down. People click on links, they are not sure about how secure they are. But with social engineering, people use those juicy tricks. They come up with some tricks just to get us to click on things they know what people are excited about, and those expose our accounts, our devices to hacking. We get that a lot. People coming to us, hey, my Facebook account has been hacked, and then you ask them, you realize that they clicked on a link that they were not supposed to click, and that happens with WhatsApp as well. And then also responding to social engineering, whether it's emails, whether it's text messages, without really thinking carefully before we respond, and believing that one can make a quick buck out of some of these things that scammers are peddling in the digital space, particularly social media. So also you would find that people are not really a majority of people don't put measures in place, like ensuring that you use strong passwords. We use the same passwords across our accounts, whether it's your email account, your social media account, your device, you use the same account. So if I hack into your device, I'm going to be able to get into your other accounts easily, because you're using simple accounts, and then you're using the same account across the same password across our accounts. So there are many mistakes that people are making, but those are some of the common ones.
Do you think we're too trusting?
I think yes. To some degree, someone will be sent a text saying, hey, here's an investment opportunity, or here's a job opportunity. They will trust that thing is genuine before they take time to investigate. I'll use an example. Ecoplexus. Just because somebody says you are able to make a quick buck, you can make a lot of money, I trust that it came from Pauline, and then I trusted that without really taking time myself to investigate and verify if indeed this is a genuine investment opportunity. So that's what I mean in terms of trusting. And then quickly you believe that is something saying
I like the fact that you mentioned one of the pyramid schemes. So a lot of Botswana have been losing a lot of millions to these pyramid schemes. So how can you spot these schemes? How do I tell this one is genuine, this one is not?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of technology, it was good. So there were genuine investment opportunities, even on social media. It was great to have the maximum number of friends you can get on Facebook. But times have changed, because the malicious actors now have taken advantage of the fact that many people do not have the knowledge and understanding of the risks that are available in the digital space, and they're taking advantage of that to really scam people. So when it comes to pyramid schemes, there are so many things that you can look at. For example, you'll find that there's an investment opportunity, you can make a quick buck, but there's no tangible product or service attached to it. So it's just money. You don't know where that money is going, so that pyramid scheme can fall off quickly because it's not attached to anything. With Forex and other investment opportunity, you can see that they're attached to gold or other commodities, but with most pyramid schemes, they're not attached to anything. It's just me making money from Pauline, who's making money from somebody else, who's making money from somebody else. And then when people cash out, all those things, they collapse instantly because there's nothing really tangible that is attached to it. So those are some of the things that you must look at, and also, what are the security measures? What are the safety measures? What safeguards do I have in place? Where do I go to should something go wrong? If there's nothing like that, and you don't know, you should be wary of investing into such schemes.
So in short, you are basically saying pyramid schemes.
Oh yes, that's what I advise. Trying pyramid schemes, because a majority of them, most of them, there are no safeguards in place. It's like, these are some of the things. And then you are trying to get me to make an investment. I usually say this, my cousin, and things like that. If I don't know all those things and it's just Pauline coming to me and telling me, or send money, I'll help you make more, and just run away from such an opportunity.
So I think it goes back to your issue that you raised, that you are too trusting.
Yeah, we are too trusting. So definitely those are some of the things that we should be wary of.
How strong is the law locally about protecting Botswana and companies in terms of cybersecurity threats?
Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, we have laws in place. We have the Cybercrime and Computer-Related Crimes Act. We have the BOCRA Act. The problem with the digital space is it cuts across borders. So often it is difficult for law enforcement to track perpetrators, because you would never know. And you know, some of these malicious actors are too sophisticated that they use tools to hide their identity. A lot of Botswana reach out to us, but shall I report to police? They are not helping me, because it's not that easy to resolve some of these crimes, and it's like that around the world. Yes, we are seeing breakthroughs in here and there, but when you look at the rate at which cybercrime is taking place and the rate at which perpetrators are being arrested around the world, there's a serious mismatch. Yes, we can have laws in place, but for me, I always believe that the same way we say the weakest link is the end user, the strongest link can be the end user if they're equipped to protect themselves, starting right at an individual level. You can have the law, but some of these things happen at an individual level. You're holding your phone, you're accessing the internet, rumela $2,000, even with the law in place, how is that going to protect you? So let's start right there with awareness and making sure that people protect their accounts. We have helped so many people, but not really help them get their money back, but help guide them and advise them about how to conduct themselves in the digital space. There's a lot of extortion that is happening in the digital space, including sextortion.
Okay.
All right. So some of these things can only happen when people are empowered and equipped with the skills and understanding of the threats and the risks.
Okay, sir. So in your last words, can you tell us, how do I make my password to be strong? And then, do you have any breakthroughs in terms of recovering money as one of the pyramid schemes?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, even with the Ecoplexus scheme right now, unless that money may be stored in a bank account somewhere and that account can be frozen while investigations are ongoing. Because here's what's happening. Right now we have Bitcoin and other digital currencies that are being used, and some of these currencies they're designed in such a way that it is difficult to trace the origin and who's operating their account. So often with pyramid schemes, they are linked to Bitcoin and other currencies that are being used in the digital space.
Thank you so much, Remo Epeng. Pyramid scheming. I'm Pauline Duguelo from me and my team. Till we meet again next week.